Hello and welcome to a brand new Bloodborne video. I'm doing something a little bit different, something I've done kind of a little bit with Dark Souls 2, with Dark Souls 1 and my previous videos, but I never got around to doing them with Bloodborne. It's about time that I did. So welcome to my first video in which I'm sort of covering some thoughts on Bloodborne, and today it is in fact my top 5 favourite boss fights in Bloodborne. I hope you enjoy the video. Starting out at the bottom of the list, number 5, we have Vicar Amelia, the giant white beast-like lycanthrope, or just a little innocent praying girl, you decide. So this is taking place, this boss fight area, in a bell tower, or its main cathedral area. But the main thing that draws you there is this giant bell or clock tower that's sort of ringing the entire time you're walking around Yharnam. So you naturally sort of, as a Souls player, if you play any Souls games, you know that you're probably going to go there based on the constant ringing of the bell, based on this high arcing tower that's a little bit ominous and a little bit, out there. So you know you're probably going to go over there. When you eventually do, you open these big great doors, there's these Amygdala statues with the weird heads, and you realize you're walking into a bad place. Something's about to go down. You know there's something coming when you climb those stairs. And to be greeted with this tiny little girl praying is a little bit confusing at the time. And then it becomes more and more clear as, you know what happens. God damn, it looks amazing. Like the white wolf, the whole idea behind being a hunter, hunting beasts. This is one of the final, later actual beast fights in the game. And it is a good one. I have to say, visually looks amazing. The audio was great. The music of the fight. The room itself wasn't brilliant, which is why it's number 5. But the boss itself and the level design that sort of took you to her, I really enjoyed. So that's my number 5, Vicar Amelia. Next up we have number 4, Materligarius. He's quite a big guy when it comes to lore. He is the top of the Executioners, a covenant run by the church, which is very strange. Why would a church have executioners? Well, there's a lot of lore there, let's not get into it. But this guy, irrelevant of all of his cool backstory and all the things we know about this character, what is so cool about him is the way he wakes up. To me, this sells the fight, and this is why he's in number 4. The way he just suddenly realizes he's about to fight you. This frozen, decrepit body is waking up like a zombie. But more than that, it is the blood pumping through his body once more. He slowly gains more power and more confidence as he gets up. He's leaning on his crutch, his staff, to move. And then you soon realize, no, that's not a staff, that's not a crutch. That's his weapon. He's wielding this strange red scythe, and his walk becomes so much more confident. You realize you're about to be in the hell of a fight. Visually, he has some amazing creepy magic with the skulls, this dark magic that doesn't really suit a church group, and it really begs the question of, how ironic, how hypocritical these people are when they hunt the vile woods. But yeah, the visual effects of the spells are great, but before long you're fighting his second phase, where he's really coming at you, he's really awake, he's drenched in blood, his body's back, and he starts slashing and using magic at the same time, using 2 weapons, the scythe and the sword. It's pretty cool, right? I gotta say, I really like Mater, and that's why he's number 4. Moving up the chain, we are at number 3 now, and it is, of course, the hunter, Father Gascoigne. He is an absolute badass. His intro cinematic is so creepy. The mutterings to himself as he, is just completely batshit insane. You can see that right away. But there's also sort of a reason behind his madness. The whole hunting beasts, and before long he's just killing men, and he thinks everyone's a beast and says so himself. But that creepy breath that he does, man, that's when you know this guy's crazy. But relevant of his cool ass introduction, this guy, he is a hell of a fight. He's the first hunter that you naturally actually fight. And you get to see that you aren't the only hunter in this world, and there is really going to be some tough fights out there. A humanoid that you can actually visceral fight is great, but he can do it to you. There's this different feel of the game all of a sudden, and you realize, this is going to be a bit more complex than just hunting beasts. Now, he has the best, or some of the best music in a boss fight that is in the entire game. It has to be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, boss battle tracks to date. It is absolutely brilliant, and it's so atmospheric. It really puts you right in that fight. The whole graveyard that you're fighting around, these tombstones that are in the way, and then it gets more complex as he gets stronger, as he gets more mental. He really likes that blood, man, he does. He gets stronger, he starts using different abilities, he really starts transforming his weapon. And before long, he completely loses himself, transforms into a horrifying beast, attacks at ridiculous rates, smashes those coffins you thought were a problem, leaps at you from the sky. He is really, really scary, but he also has some amazing lore with the whole family, which you may or may not know. And it is absolutely brilliant. But really, that music box that you can play to charm him, calm him down, that is, showing real levels of design to a boss. The visual is amazing, the sound is amazing, his lore is really interesting, and the lore physically functions with the world and the game, and is a useful thing to know. Like, it gives you a tactical advantage, and that's why Gascoigne is so goddamn awesome. There's so much to him, and every time I fight him, I always enjoy the experience. Coming in at number 2, just barely missing that top spot, is of course the vacuous spider Rom, the horrifying monster hidden under a lake in a different realm in a beautiful white, crisp and clear area. You are walking on the bottom of the sea. It completely disorientates you. You're very put out of your comfort zone, and that is exactly what I want to see in a Souls game, or Bloodborne rather. You want to be in this mode, you want to feel unsafe, you want to be at the edge of your seat, and that is what happens when you land in this creepy area, and you're very disoriented, very confused, and the only thing in front of you is this smudge in the distance. You find your way over there, you move over there, and you see you are alone in this creepy ass area with one big, ugly, disgusting monster. It has tons of eyes on its hardened shell of a face, that horrible gaping maw, and the bulbous sack at the back that's all hairy and kind of pretty in a way with the white tendrils, admittedly, but my god, that thing is hideous. And one way or another, you're so repulsed, or you've been paying attention to the story, or whatever, you got to attack that thing eventually, and you do. It's the only way out of that place. So the boss fight itself, honestly, not massively amazing. The abilities that it has, the magic, is not too complex. There's like 3 different things. You've got the AoE, you've got the shooting up in the air spikes that come down at you, or the crystals that come out of the ground. And that's honestly about it, apart from, I guess, it flops around a bit. Don't go near it when it does that, right? But that isn't what makes this fight for me. It's the area. It's beautiful, it's creepy, it disorientates you. The spiders that drop down, this was some of the best AI I'd seen in any of the Souls games to date. Like, those spiders were the first spiders that I actually thought, wow, holy shit, they are actually like spiders. The way they move, they dodge, they jump, they don't look real. It's like you're in some sort of weird nightmare or dream, which really resonates throughout Bloodborne, doesn't it? And I just feel like this whole boss fight is such a turning point for the story. It had to be one of the top spots, if not the top spots for a boss fight. I thought it was brilliant. I think it's such an interesting fight, and as like Gascoigne, I really enjoy it every time I do it. So that is my number 2. Sadly, it did not win. Hope you look forward to the next one, number 1. Taking the number 1 spot today for me, in my personal opinion, is Gammon, the First Hunter. This man has been with you since the start of the game, providing you advice, introducing himself as the helper of hunters, and providing you with really interesting information, but also great backstory and his place in the world. This mysterious character, you realise, is such a big part of Bloodborne, and he has so much backstory. He's had so much effect on the world that you are walking around. He is the first hunter. He is the man who showed us that we don't need to wear armor. He created these trick weapons, which became a massive thing, this amazing transforming weapon that's so useful and versatile, but also deadly as hell. The fact that he showed us that we don't need that armor, we can move around really quick and become agile, forces to be reckoned with. That is exactly why he's just a fucking badass. But also, he had such an effect on the world of the hunters, how they hunted, the church and their hunters, and I don't know, he just had this huge presence for me in the whole world. As you play, you realize he's had an effect on this place. But also, he provides you with really interesting lore, telling you about the Chalice dungeons and how hunters came to be and what hunters before you have done, really becoming that helper of hunters himself. When he is asleep, you actually catch him speaking in his sleep, under his breath, muttering about Lawrence and Willem and how he knows these two big players in this world, these massive lore characters. He is actually part of them. He's the third man. And, you know, you realize this character, not only has he had an amazing impact on the world, but he was crucial to the creation of Yharnam that we know. Holding one of the cords, the man who used one of the cords, just like Willem and Lawrence used other materials and cords. You know, he's had a really big impact on the lore. But that's not actually why he's at the top. You know, he has this amazing story, an amazing character, and he's really influential when it comes to Bloodborne. This isn't why he's at the top. You walk into his boss fight area, you step through that gate, and you are in a hilly, vast wall of white flowers, and it's got to be one of the most pretty, beautiful areas in the entire game for me. I gotta say, it was jaw-dropping to step into this area and think, this was here in the Hunter's Dream this entire time? Why couldn't I hang out here, man? Why was the gate closed? Damn Gammon. But yeah, you instantly, you see him at the foot of this great tree looking down on you, and you know something is about to go down. You're provided with two options: allow him to kill you and free you from the dream, or refuse his offer and face him in combat yourself. When you refuse him, you are faced with an amazing boss fight. He gets up and shows you this old man who's been here for God knows how long is a force to be reckoned with. He's the first hunter. He's the person who started this whole revolution of hunters, and he holds that spot with pride, and you know, he's worthy of that title by far. Using one of the coolest, if not the coolest weapons in the game, the giant bone scythe. Absolutely fucking amazing to see him swing that around, but he can really get some force behind that. This guy is strong, even on one leg. That's right, he has a peg leg. He's basically a pirate. How cool is that? He actually is able to move around so fast. He's actually able to teleport. Who knows how he became this strong? Probably to do with the Hunter's Dream and his presence and who he is. But the fact that he's able to use magic like that is very interesting, lore-wise, character-wise. Either way, the fight itself is kind of sad, honestly. The music is not that like exhilarating compared to someone like Gascoigne with his very fast-paced music. No, it's actually very sad. You're fighting a bittersweet ending. Someone who's helped you this whole way, you're fighting him to the death. He'll kill you, or you'll kill him. What's really interesting about the fight, by the way, the area, not only is it really beautiful, the white flowers, but when you spill blood over those flowers, they actually do turn red. And at the end of the fight, when everything's said and done, the whole area, the flowers are no longer white, but blood red. And that is fucking amazing, that level of detail. For me, this is one of the best fights in the entire game, if not the best. What do you think, guys? Do you agree, disagree with me on this list? What is your favorite boss fight in the entire game? Do let me know why in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, do leave a like and let me know. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope to do more videos like this in the future if you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I'll see you next time for some more Bloodborne.